A Qantas jet was struck by lightning during a flight in Western Australia on Tuesday, August 9th. The Boeing 737 was operating a scheduled passenger service from Perth to Port Hedland when the incident occurred on the descent. The incident was one of 3 across 3 days at Qantas in an unlucky trifecta involving their workhorse Boeing 737-800 aircraft. When it comes to the first incident we'll examine, the Aviation Herald notes that the Boeing 737-800, registered as Victor Hotel X-Ray Zulu Mike, was operating Qantas flight QF1206 from Perth to Port Hedland on August 9th. The 8-year-old plane was on descent into Port Hedland when the lightning strike occurred at about 19,000 feet. Instead of continuing into Port Hedland, the aircraft diverted to Karratha, about 120 miles away, landing safely about 20 minutes later. A Qantas spokesperson told Simple Flying, "Aircraft are designed to withstand and fly safely when struck by lightning, but it is policy that they get inspected at their arrival port after a strike. At no point was the safety of the flight compromised." A correspondent to the Aviation Herald notes the decision to divert was likely due to the lack of support infrastructure at Port Hedland. On the other hand, Karratha has a staffed air control tower and fire services, while Port Hedland Airport does not. Karratha also has engineering support, which is also absent at Port Hedland. A Qantas spokesperson confirmed that the jet had to be diverted for an engineering check. The 737 remained on the ground in Karratha for about 48 hours before returning to Perth. The passengers were reaccommodated on a flight from Karratha to Port Hedland later on Tuesday morning. The previous day, another Qantas 737-800 was involved in a different sort of in-flight incident. Victor Hotel X-Ray Zulu Hotel was climbing out of Queenstown Airport on Monday afternoon, operating flight QF186 across to Brisbane. During the climb, the pilots needed to shut down the left-hand engine for unspecified reasons. Rather than returning to Queenstown, the jet diverted to Christchurch. At the time of producing this video, some 3 days after the diversion, the aircraft remains on the ground in New Zealand. And finally, both of the aforementioned incidents remain overshadowed by a Qantas 737-800 issuing a pan-pan alert at Sydney Airport on August 7th. 76 passengers on the 737 registered Victor Hotel Victor Zulu Juliet were buckled up on QF91 bound for Noumea when a car trailing the plane at the airport noticed flames shooting out of the right engine. Qantas 91, just be advised the car behind you reports some kind of flame coming from the right engine, an air traffic control transcript reads. "Hope not," says the pilot. Qantas 91, affirmative, it's flames, answered air traffic control. Responding to the confirmation, the Qantas pilot then said, pan-pan, 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 Qantas 91 stopping on 16 left, require fire ease. Sydney Airport Fire Services escorted the plane back to the terminal. Qantas later noted that the pilots followed procedure and quickly shot the engine down. There was no warning light in the cockpit and no sign of fire when the engine was shut down. Engineers have inspected the aircraft and cleared it to return to service, a Qantas spokesperson adds. What do you think of this series of unfortunate events? Let us know by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.